while I put you in a trance. Let's party. Boogie in your body. Want that body. Make sure you don't hurt nobody. I say, hey, feeling the fire when it burns inside ya. Yeah, get up off of that thing. Dance, shake, and let's swing. Come on, let me rock the world.
Hey folks, welcome back to the R&R podcast. R&R stands for Rocks and More Rocks. Here we have myself, Ming. Next to me, Chavez.
Give me that crack, baby.
Across the table from me, we have Roland. And we have Trey.
What it do?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Oh my motherfucking god, motherfucking dead. And we got more rocks.
Yes. Rocks.
He should have
and
said rocks
more
and
rocks.
the rock or something like that.
No, just more rocks. That's all we need. Anyway, so
Barack Obama.
alright. So, as of the recording of this podcast, Captain Marvel will be coming out in like 2 or 3 days.
Ooh.
And if people have been paying attention to social media, it's been getting a lot of mixed reception, both in the marketing and also we have gotten some early reviews from mainstream outlets, and in the broad scale, the consensus seems to be that it's mediocre and boring.
Ooh.
Alright, so, first of all, to start things off, I'm gonna share my thoughts on Captain Marvel outside of, like, the whole, like, weird social media political crap going on. So, like many people who enjoy the MCU, I am very excited for, Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with, like, Captain Marvel and, like, sort of the precedent they're, like, having is that you leave us with such a powerful cliffhanger, and you insert these movies that are, like, effectively, like,
Fillers.
Flashbacks. Yeah, fillers and flashbacks in a way. and not just that. This is the analogy that I love to tell people in terms of how I feel about Captain Marvel existing in this MCU like storytelling. Imagine you're playing an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
You have your party that you've been building for a very long time.
Ooh,
You get to the the demon lord or the king or whatever.
Uh-huh.
The king wipes you out. It's like this huge cliffhanger, and then all of a sudden, some random NPC comes along and he's like, "I'm the strongest one," and that one is the thing that leads to you to defeating that final boss.
Are you talking about Chrono Trigger? No, I think you're talking about I think you're talking about Tails.
Oh my god, yes.
Those forced loose battles.
but no, it's kind of like that thing where it's like you've been following these characters for so long, they're like in this really tough spot against this big baddie, and then all of a sudden this jackass just comes along and just steals the spotlight.
This is the loud thing.
Oh, go on.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, so like, so that's my initial like surface point about Captain Marvel. What are your guys's, like, before all this like crap came out, and we'll get into the nitty gritty of the crap, like, were you guys excited to see, Captain Marvel when they announced that like timeline of movies?
Well, I didn't pay attention to the MCU timeline. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of MCU. I am. I just never really paid attention to Comic-Con. So I never paid attention to the schedule, but I did look, and I mean, obviously at the end of the game, at the end of the first Avengers movie, while I went with Trey, the thing at the end, I was like, okay, who's this person? Like, I was so lost. I was like, who's this person? Like, I didn't know who they were, and the dude, some fat hairy dude
in front of me was like, yeah! And I'm like, why the fuck are you raging for it? He's like, it's fucking Captain Marvel, man!
Specifically,
And that's exactly how
that's
I reacted. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I take Marvel movies for what it is, and I'm just like, hey man, like, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I look forward to watching it, but I mean, they're fighting, what was it, Skrull? The little aliens? The Skrulls, the aliens and shit.
Yes,
So-
I'm very excited about that.
So here's the thing, I want to be excited about that, but how many times have I saw that already?
Well,
Like-
well, that's the beauty of like what this movie is supposed to be setting up. All right, so what I know about this movie, which I'm going to go see it this weekend with my brother, and the way that this is going, and this is like what a lot of people don't understand is like there are people who follow the books. You know what I mean? There are people like myself who has family members who had been reading this shit since they were kids.
Yep.
So this is like, my uncle was like, this was a study. Like, if there was a study hall at your home, like, this was what me and my brother went through. It was like, hey, read this book. You better know every goddamn thing for a motherfucking movie come out. Like, that's basically how it was. It was drill sergeant for that. And so we know about this shit. Captain Marvel, I know some things. I'm not huge on, like, her and stuff like that, but she's very important. So that's why people are excited. That's why, like, a lot of people don't understand is, like, when you're watching these Marvel movies, like, things when Captain Marvel and stuff like that, I'm actually going to defend Captain Marvel, # save my bitch.
You mean Shazam?
No, so the idea is like, you're kind of just on a ride. And I think what a lot of people are having the trouble with this particular, movie right now, I'm seeing from, like, reviews and, like, what people are saying, critics and stuff like that. You've seen in the last couple movies that Marvel has taken some, they've taken some risks, and it's been high risk, high reward. And a lot of people have been like, oh my god, like, you guys really tried something, and it even, like, for us regular comic book readers, like, we liked it. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have really taken some chances. You guys have hit some areas that we weren't expecting you to hit, and you guys are really nailing it. So when you come with Captain Marvel, the problem is with Captain Marvel people are having is that it's safe. Captain Marvel is very reminiscent on the first 4 years of the Marvel universe, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is reminiscent on that. It's basically how the first Captain America movie was, or how the first Iron Man movie was, the first Thor movie. It has a very traditional sense to it. You know what I mean? And people are like, it's still fun, but it's boring at times, like how those movies were. But we know why, because they didn't want to steer too far off from the comic book, or they didn't want to steer to they weren't trying things. And there's a reason why they're not trying things with this Marvel thing. They have to make this whole scroll idea make sense. You gotta understand, like, they're about to introduce, she's basically the first Marvel movie of Generation 2. So these next 10 years, she is the Iron Man of the movies right now. You get what I'm saying? So they have to make things make sense on how they're going to bring this story in. So these scrolls are initially, I haven't seen the movie, so this isn't a spoiler. This is just speculation. They have to make it make sense that, hey, some of the heroes that you thought were your heroes weren't your heroes. They were actually scrolls. Shit like that. Like, this is stuff that's going to be iterated, I'm sure, within these next 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So they have to do certain things. That's why people are like, they're having like these mediocre, like, I don't know how I feel about this and stuff like that. They have to play it safe so the shit makes sense, and then they're going to
Play it safe or set the bar low.
Well, yeah, but you know what? That's strategy though. If they are setting the bar low, it's like, I'm going to set the bar low so that when we do start dishing out shit, y'all can still say Marvel, wow. You get what I'm saying?
But shouldn't you give your best foot forward with your movies instead of sitting there? I mean, no, I'm not sitting there saying like, they need to, play that field and be safe and stuff like that. Or maybe, as you said, they're trying to make sense. But there's a certain type of like criteria that gets set now because they've been doing this for several years. And so if you decide that now, it's like sitting there saying like, I'm out of sight of the movie, or it is, if I sit there and give you like, say for example, a PlayStation Network card and it says you have access to all this stuff, and I build upon it, and then I give you a new thing for the next system and be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take some of those features away that you liked, and I'm gonna give them back to you. All you're doing is basically like being lazy. It's like, I don't like that.
I wouldn't say it's lazy. I would say it's more of you're about to get the product that you've been waiting for years. You know what I'm saying? ENDGAME is coming. Like, they know look, it's around the corner. This is just a holdover. That's why it's acceptable. It's kind of like, look, we have everybody focused on Endgame. We got everybody really focused on this. I have to fit 2.5 hours worth of content together for you, or 3 hours possibly. I don't know how long. I think it's 3 hours. It's 3 hours of content. That's 2 movies basically. I'm giving you for the price of one, and
high ass price of one, but
I'm alright with that. I'm glad it's not like how Harry Potter did it, or how our Twilight and all these other places did it. Oh, here's part 1, part 2. Like that was disrespectful. Like it technically did that.
They technically did it. They didn't put part in their name.
That's okay. Like
it was
3 hours.
It's the same. It was the same thing. But it's a longer movie that's still broken into 2 parts. It's still parts.
6 hours versus 2 hours and 2 hours.
See, now you're being content.
I
ain't being content. All right, man.
Well, I mean, not to cut you off, but I think we're conditioned as Marvel fans to expect. Like, we went through the weeds of them redoing superhero movies, the first movie, of rehearing the origin story, and introducing characters, things like that.
Uncle Ben!
Yeah. Uncle Ben
but
got to die.
I feel like by the time, like, right now, like, the last movie that a lot of us have witnessed was the last Avengers movie of, I'm like, we're not going to spoil it, even though, everyone knows what happened.
Yeah.
So
damn.
That's that man.
Everybody knows what happened. So with that, getting drawn out of that, where everyone's adrenaline's high, we're just all pumped up, and it's just like, hey, guess what? Here's another origin story, and just like what you're saying is to Iron Man. Oh, it's just going to be like Iron Man. It's going to be safe. We're not in the safe zone. I don't want to be in the safe zone right now.
We're in a danger zone.
Another analogy that I would say is that imagine you're watching like a 24 episode anime and you're almost at the climax. You're like at episode 22. Episode 23, it's a flashback.
It's filler.
Yeah.
This is the filler. Captain Marvel filler arc.
How would you feel about that? It's like, what the hell? Like, get me to the freaking like content. The very
I'd
end.
be pissed.
But if that's the case, that means that Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man's essential situation, even though he's super important for this next movie, is a filler until they said, hey.
But
I agree
okay,
with that too.
I agree with that.
Ant-Man
But
was filler.
I will agree with that. But you also have to note that Ant-Man had his original movie. He was also in Civil War, and then he had this one. So he had more
of a
time.
But a lot of people are upset about, like, they're like, oh, well, Captain Marvel should have been and it's like they couldn't. Like for story purposes, for writing purposes, she couldn't be talked about prior, because if that was the case, there wouldn't be an Endgame. It would be Captain Marvel showed up now.
Well, okay.
Like-
All right. Wait.
Yeah.
To counter your argument, what they did with T'Challa with Black Panther, they integrated him into Civil War.
That's what people wanted. That's
what I think they should have did. They should, and I
how?
understand.
But how? Like,
all right,
my thing is, we could have done.
They did integrate it at the end.
At the end,
At the end, that's your integration.
There's no, like, with T'Challa, it was just like everyone had that wow factor, like, oh, I wonder who he is. He's fighting with Bucky. He's doing this. He's doing that. Wow, and it got people amped up.
But I think what happened is, in this particular situation, and see, the thing is like, T'Challa's very important, and like Black Panther as but Black Panther isn't showing up can fucking game the situation. If she showed up and like for instance, if they decided we're gonna show you Endgame, then show you her backstory, you're like, what the fuck we backpedaling for? I know what this bitch can do. I want to get to the next part for her. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that, man, because like with Black Panther, it was just like, all right, we got like a little preview and stuff, like we got to know the character a little bit, and then they nicely transitioned that into the movie. And I'm not saying like, oh, they couldn't, because writers could do anything.
But you gotta think, yeah, writers can do anything, but like that's when you're putting yourself, like, as a person who writes, like, if you sit there and you kind of like corner yourself for that, because the thing is about T'Challa's build-up, it's a beautiful build-up, and the reason it's a beautiful build-up is because you got, there was a place to put him in Civil War, you had Civil War, Black Panther, then Avengers, right? That's how it went. In Civil War, it was just a taste. It really was. It was just a taste. And because they didn't know if they could pull off, like, the reason he was sprinkled in there, like, for real, like, in all honesty, they weren't sure if they could really pull off an all-black movie like that. Like, it wasn't, it was like, how can I introduce this character? Like, for real, like, the writers are probably looking at, like, the people was like...
So I have another thing. So, saying that, it's the same thing with her. That they can pull off a strong female lead movie. It's the same concept.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the thing is, like, that's why, like, they know that they can pull it off based off of the times. And you gotta understand, like, that Black Panther movie, as much as it's like, oh no, dog, this is the times. Like, everybody's seeing. That's what we're seeing now. You get what I'm saying? Black Panther moved us. Like, when it happened, it finally moved us. Like, we really was like, oh man, like this could have been a mockery or this could have been great. And I was just watching an entire roundtable with Chadwick Boseman and a bunch of other actors, and like, it really made a major difference. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I mean by Marvel has been able to take risks lately, and they've been hitting it. Like, high risk, high reward. But after a while, certain risks, you gotta be careful. Like, this right here, I really think that they did this because it was like, all right, I want to make a risk. I know we can take this risk, but Endgame's coming. I can't just write her into any old thing. You get what I mean? Like, it's kind of like they want to give
technically
her.
Can, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, they can. Like, yeah, like, I'm not gonna take that from her, but like, I think they wanted her to have that because there aren't a lot of Marvel characters. There aren't a lot of Marvel female characters who get that spotlight that they really. I don't know why they want. I mean, I know why, but I don't know why they want Captain Marvel to have this hurrah behind her the way that they do.
Well, if we see what Togashi did with Hunter x Hunter, they obviously roped themselves into a corner, made a character too powerful, so you just need to, like, Deus Ex Machina the shit out of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I would drop it, but we're not gonna say it because that's a spoiler. And I want to edit it out. Let's just say I would like to play a game. That's
Yo, real shit. That's some real shit though. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Thanos is like crackhead strong right now, and like. We have somebody.
So why does this jackass get to steal the spotlight?
But you know what? You know what I think? That's why it's like they're giving her the movie so you understand the power, so that when it does happen, so that when it does happen, you can go. Well, they covered their ass with that one. Like, it's going to be that moment. I'm letting everybody know now. When we're all watching Endgame. Yeah. It's going to be. We're gonna see this movie. We're gonna see Captain Marvel, and we can't get mad because it's like no,
Mary Sue.
we gave y'all a movie, and we had wrote it in there, and you see what the power was, and she awakened right then and there, and we gonna go.
To your point, right? Because they're writing, this movie in a certain way. Don't you think that that's leverage to get people to go see Captain Marvel because they don't think that it's strong enough to stand on its own?
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
And here's
very
where
tough.
we get into the juicy marketing.
Mm.
If anyone doesn't know, the person who is acting as Captain Marvel is Brie Larson. And she has been very controversial in her marketing in that, like, in general, the marketing has been, like, very, like, presenting itself as a feminist movie. Like straight up, like in I think it's like the first trailer, like you just straight up see like her, and then it's like becomes a hero, and it's like, I mean, like if you're trying to like freaking beat like your demographic over the head, like that's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You just straight up like say, her, a hero. It's like what the hell, and so there's not only just that sort of like weird marketing behind it. A lot of people like outside of like sort of this like weird like pushing a feminist film, people's reaction to that first trailer was like, it looks kind of boring. Like the way that Brie Larson's acting is that like she's very deadpan, and like she even has like a very like corny one-liner in that trailer where it's like it's like so generic. It's like I'm gonna end. It's like I'm gonna start this fight and I'm gonna end it. It's like, how many times have we fucking heard that shit?
Flashback. Flashback. I'm gonna end this. Oh, it's gonna be ended. Oh, I'm gonna end you. Oh yeah, get ended. Endgame.
See you around, Stingray.
Oh my god.
Ew, see, that's why I like Black Panther so much, because he was like, "Why are you running?"
Oh my god.
Do you know the way?
I'm going to find Bucky. He's mine. Oh shit!
That nigga said, "We don't do that."
Damn.
That's my favorite one.
But I feel like that was like likable, like his little like inserts.
But here's the thing. Another point between bringing up Black Panther is that the way that Brie Larson's marketing it, it's just like, hey, like she has corrected this statement more carefully, But her initial one was that for the pre-screens or whatever, she wanted to make a point that like, oh, like I want less white men to be like the first like critics of this movie. Like,
Yeah, I did read about that. Yeah.
So it's kind of like you already have this sort of this negative connotation of that. You're like sort of, it's not meant for like white people, like white men.
But no, but yeah, because she was like, wasn't that with the interviewer as well? Like she was like, talking about, like, so she was like, she wanted more of a diverse grouping.
Yes.
And I feel like she's doing this to get the minority vote in this, to get the minorities in the seats. You know what I mean? Like kind of like
of course you got to pay to us because we got the money.
You see what we did to Black Panther?
We thought that shit was empowering.
You know what? I'm not gonna. What I'm not gonna do is take that from her. I'm gonna say this. A lot more people, and this is actors. This is actors. This isn't about. Yes, of course this movie is gonna be hardcore feminism because it's a woman in power. Like just doesn't matter if they're trying to go for that or not. It's going to be that.
It's because it's Marvel.
It's
doing a Hillary campaign.
But the thing is like if that's the case, they're kind of late to. They're
well,
late
that's what I'm saying.
They're late on the train. It's one
Wonder
thing
Woman.
like that's what I'm saying. Like they could have like tried to like push this out forever ago, and I would have been like, well, look at y'all just trying to, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say that in this. I will say that there's a reason why she said she didn't want a lot of white male critics, and the reason why is because of masculinity. The masculinity, like as we know, we're making fun of like certain things already. You get what I'm saying? Just naturally, without us even realizing it. For instance, we literally were just saying, how many times I heard that shit? Oh, you're gonna change it? You know, we're making our jokes,
but we make fun of everything.
Yeah,
so make sure we keep that in mind. It's not that we're targeting. We make fun of everything.
I wouldn't say it's it. Okay, so bringing in masculinity again, like to your statement and to your point, I wouldn't picture straight white male as the most toxic. You know, masculine.
No, I'm not saying that she's saying that it's the most toxic. It's just it's their opinion. When she says she wants a diverse group, she should be able to say that on the simple fact of she wants a different group of people because the majority of your critics are white males. You get what I'm saying? A majority of critics are raving about this. Critics are this, and it's like she's probably looking at it like, and her and the studios and the people who probably told her to go in there and say whatever it was and talk to her and stuff like that are probably stating, hey, the majority of the people that's going to be looking at this are white males, right? And the thing is like, once they say like, oh man, this is this, da-da-da-da-da-da, the movie's not going to get the same traction. She's like, I want a diverse group. I want a lot more women to see it. And that's okay to ask for. That's okay to ask for that to be your critics. It's okay to say that that's all right because the thing is like there's a difference between like for instance there's black movies that have came out. For instance, Best Man. Best Man, they had put this movie in front of a group of critics. It was mostly whites, and they missed every joke. Get what I'm saying? Because the movie wasn't for them. The movie wasn't built for them. It was built for the minorities. You know what I mean? The people who could actually relate to it. So when it originally went to them, they were like, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching, right? They put the movie in front of black critics, black most. I think it was mostly black women and stuff like that. The movie took off. The
All
movie after that point.
To your point, and I feel like I'm battling with you a lot on this, but for a movie that is a Marvel movie, who is supposed to be out, not a niche group, you know, not like a Medea, not like but this is a Marvel movie. So
you can't call it that though.
Well, no. I'm just saying.
Movie. It was a black movie for everybody. It was even though
I'm still saying like it doesn't fit in the same bucket as say a Best Man or a Medea movie or a Friday movie or a Crazy Rich Asians. I'm just saying. It's bigger than that. This is Marvel. Yeah. And even with Black Panther,
so
we didn't say.
Are you labeling it as? And I'm asking you.
And
this. I'm asking you this because this is important. Every movie that you named are subjected only to those people.
I'm not saying subject. I'm saying it has a target audience, right?
In a way.
Yeah. They do. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like certain black jokes, things like that. Yes, it has a target audience.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying a Marvel movie is bigger than a precise targeted audience. I'm saying a Marvel movie is supposed to be for everybody.
Best Man was for everybody. The jokes only resonated with black people. That's what I'm saying. Like, this movie is for everybody. I think Captain Marvel is a movie that's for everybody.
Here's the thing: is that the way that Brie Larson was, she has like changed her statement since the criticism, but the way she came off was that she wanted to be more. Her words were more about being exclusive to like, oh yeah, like this. It like initially it came off as like, oh, she's snooty, she has agenda, like it's for the the white male critics. This movie simply isn't for you. Black Panther, on the other hand, the way that was marketed was to be inclusive.
Everybody, everybody's
and that's
inclusive.
why, like, even though it was a very strong movie for the like African American demographic, like it was positive. It had like all this positivity behind it, which like led it to be a very
they didn't need to just
film.
target, or they didn't need to say, hey, like, they didn't need to get up there and say, okay, like, I want, black people to see this movie. Like, I feel like for her, okay, but for her, and, to that point, Wonder Woman didn't do that shit.
Yeah, no, I think that, did she
and
go
the lead
about it
actress
wrong?
is a strong feminist, and she didn't say that.
Yeah, I think that did she go about it wrong? Of course she did, but like for her, because she even went back and like tried to correct herself, I'll let that rock. You know what I'm saying? People are allowed to make a mistake. But like I said, like I feel like her wanting if she says like I would want this, like I understand that, and it's only because it's like I wanted to, like, the people that it's supposed to hit, she wants them to hit. Granted, it should hit everybody. Everybody should be able to see it and watch it, but like, in the day and age that we're living in right now, like, it's really, it's a 50-50. Did she go about it wrong? Of course. I agree with that 100%, 10%. If that's going about it and saying certain things and people seeing it one way because of how you said it, that's the world we live in, and because you said it a certain way and it affected somebody, the end of the world just happened in somebody's world, and you have to apologize.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, from what I'm getting from y'all, because y'all gonna go back and forth on this shit for a minute, is that, to Trey's point when he said that, was it Gal Gadot? Was it? Is that her name?
Yeah.
All right. So, her movie, when they were getting the reviews, I guess the reviews about maybe the similar, group of, readers or series watchers, whoever it is. Her movie did good. I mean, got positive reviews.
It did.
But here's the thing, though. She didn't have to sit there and pitch it after it got good reviews, whereas your girl, Brie Larson over here, felt kind of attacked when people were like, okay, well, it's kind of boring. Okay, well, this and that. And so she was like, well, so she's trying to, and a person, any person who put in their work into anything, say if you were at your job and you worked really hard on something and then your manager comes out of the blue and be like, it could be better. Of course you're going to feel attacked. And you're going to feel you want to go to defend it.
But here's the thing. People who were just commenting on the the initial trailer saying, oh, this movie looks kind of boring, I'm not interested, I'm not gonna watch it, immediately those critics were just like, just simply, I'm not interested in watching it, they were deemed as like, you're a Nazi, you're an alt-right. It's like, what the hell? Like, where did this come from? And then that's sort of like how it breaks into like that culture war.
So because definitely in this day and age, and it just sucks because in this day and age, if you don't like something that so happens that Coinky Dinkley, I'm gonna come up with Coinky Dinkley, the lead is a woman, you're like, oh, you're misogynistic, or you just don't support this, and da da da. It's like, maybe I'm just not interested in Captain Marvel. I don't know who Captain Marvel is, and I'll always try to give people a fair shot, but I mean, I haven't seen really trailers. I haven't gone out of my way, but I haven't gone out of my way to see any trailer. Really, it just pops in my face. Put in my YouTube video if you want. But it's something where it's like, it just comes with that territory of nowadays where it's like, okay, well, if you don't like this because of your initial reaction of whatever it may be of, a woman actor, but you're just like, well, it just doesn't look appealing. Like, I don't really care for it too much. Then it's like, it's fucking pitchforks already.
That's modern society.
And that's whatever, man. Like, fuck it.
That's modern
society.
society.
You just gotta listen, you live in this world, man. You just gonna have to accept the fact that everybody's gonna fucking like you. The end. There you go.
And
The end.
you just can't, you also just can't take it, like, personal. Like, you can't say, okay, like, they're saying, like, the movie might not be bad. Well, maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's this. Because I just disagree with that
One
because
person
I think
made
that
the script, one person directed the fucking movie, and you expect that one person to be able to identify and relate that movie to the fucking majority of the world.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
it's not going to be a Black Panther.
It's not. Well, it's not going to be a Black Panther because there's a different energy for that.
Because we've been waiting for a fucking black superhero movie since fucking Spawn.
Yeah,
Since Blade.
There was so much behind the whole Black Panther thing, and the reason why like I said, I had just watched something today about it and listening to the actual actors, and it was just like, yo, like. We had to really bring something totally different. We had to really as actors and what you saw, like this could have been a spoof of Coming to America, or this could have been the movie that you had got. And the reason the movie that you got, the movie that you had, because there was a lot of pain on the set. There's a lot of pain of actually not knowing where you were coming from. And in this particular movie, there was a place that you could that people he had to play a place of, I actually have a root that I can actually say that this is where I'm from. Right, you know what I'm saying, and that's a huge difference. You know what I mean? People had to go get therapy afterwards and stuff like that. This is the stuff that nobody's seeing after they got the art.
Who directed this movie, by the way?
Ryan
No. I
Coogler.
know. Okay, first and foremost, I know who fucking directed the Black Panther movie. I'm talking about the Captain Marvel movie.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, because if you think about it like that, they had a black actor direct a black dominant movie. So in this case, would it be possibly been a better idea to have a woman direct this movie?
I have no.
Or is it a white man direct this movie?
I mean, me personally, it doesn't matter long as if the story touches you, however you want to bring the story.
But would you say you would have seen the Black Panther, or if let's say in a parallel universe, a white male or somebody that isn't black decided to direct a Black Panther movie? I mean, you would still give it a shot, but would it really got the same resonance? Because people always relate to things, people and things that they can understand or that they have a personal tie to.
I think it would have, just on the simple fact of I think it would have. If it hits, it hits. Like I'm not going to say that the black community is going to be like, oh, you telling me a white man was working on there? Like, because if that was the case, like it just we're doing ourselves a disservice at that point.
So it seems like this Captain Marvel movie was directed by two people. It was a woman and a man.
Mm.
I didn't know they had co-directors in this bitch. I didn't know that. I'm looking into it, but I was looking like some.
I think it's fine. I mean, the thing is like
I can see maybe why now it's mixed reviews, because you have two people with probably different mindsets going at it, and I know sometimes having a diverse grouping. You know, the Delphi technique and shit like that, where you have different groups of people working together on something. But I feel like in this situation, you put, a man and woman together to direct a film about a superhero woman. I don't know if that might have been good, because certain things that a guy would think, like, from what I'm initially thinking is, she was like, okay, well, we got to make sure we touch this topics that what women go through, or women's struggles, or something that women can relate to. And the dude's like, well, we gotta make sure the nerds like it too. And it just sounds like kind of meshed,
Maybe, or he could be a feminist too, and he could really see like her point of view. Like, I'm not gonna turn it into to genders battling.
Yeah,
I'm
just saying that it has a
here's the
factor.
thing, like, again, for like the first trailer, it's like a lot of shots of Brie Larson like falling down and just like mentioning like, oh, you'll never be able to get as like play with the big boys. You'll never be a man. And
apparently
it's like,
apparently that's a major thing in the movie.
But like the thing is, in terms of marketing, that's just like it's sort of like you're looking down upon like a part of your demographic that's like it, and especially after shit like the Last Jedi and the Ghostbusters movie, where it's like those are feminist films.
Okay,
Ghostbusters
like, is fucking trash.
Yeah,
It's just fucking trash.
When people have already been slighted by that, they're like, oh fuck, it's like one of these movies again.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, all in all, we all have to still see it. But I'm gonna go off of. I understand what they were doing with it. I'm not saying it's like the best way to go about it marketing wise. I'm not a marketing expert. I never will be, and I won't claim to be. But I understand where they were going for. There's a lot of women on there every day that have to go to work and they feel a certain type of way, and we might not know because we don't live with it. It's just not. It's not something that is blatant. It's a privilege that we have as men. It's like a white dude with some damn privilege. If you're black and you go, oh, there go white privilege, we can tell it's white privilege because we know what the fuck we don't have. As black men and as an Asian man, I'm sure you see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, we can point out white privilege right away. You get what I'm saying? Because we know what the fuck we don't have from our everyday basis.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that's true.
Yeah.
So a woman, if she sees as men, because we have some, in a sense, a male privilege that we don't even realize. You get what I'm saying? And we might think we might think we're able to.
No. Some of us realize there is a glass ceiling.
No, yeah, we might think we realize, but what to what degree? You'll never 100% understand because you are not a woman, and I don't care how much you educate yourself. I don't care how much you me growing up around women. I can say all day long, I get it. I've been here. I've seen it. I'm able to empathize to a degree. Yeah. I will never be able to 100% understand because I am not a woman. And when you say this to a woman, they will shake your hand or they'll give you a hug because they're gonna go, "Thank you. I'm glad you understand that much." Because we don't know what they go throughout the day. So that particular trailer might be, in a sense, that it might be something that they feel on a everyday basis and never really get to explain it, only amongst themselves. So when they see that trailer and then she just goes full blown fucking Super Saiyan, because that's what her power looks like, in my opinion. It's her going Super Saiyan with the fire hair. When you see at the end of the trailer, it's like, yes, stand up. You know what I'm saying? It might not mean shit to us, but it might really fucking mean something to them. You know what I'm saying? Even though the trailer might be like, "Oh, here we go again." That's to us. There's somebody that's watching it.
I think it's the one-liner that we was like, "Oh, here we go again."
Yeah,
That wasn't there. Let's make sure we understand. That was the one-liner, like, you know.
Finish.
And it's also like her statements of what she said about just singling out, you know, like straight white males.
Yeah, she's wrong for
you know,
that.
whatever.
She's 100% wrong for that, and she took it back. And I'm gonna allow that. Like, that's what I'm saying. We have to understand. We're living in an age where people fucking forgot to say, "Oops, my bad." Yep. Oops, my bad is over and done with. Once you say, "Oops, oh shit, I was wrong for that." Hold on, let me step back. It should be fucking over. We're living in an age where we're like, "Well, yeah, well, she still said this. Oh yeah, well, she still did that. Do you remember 5 years ago when she did?" There's clearly a reason why things stop where they stop. And that's the problem. Like, we don't fucking move on. That's our problem. We see something and we go, well, here on fucking page 2, you know, when you was 5? Like,
all right.
You
Well,
know what I mean?
to that degree, I feel like there's different buckets that you could place this in, and I'm gonna bring up the what's his name? Liam Nielsen thing, right?
Liam
Yes,
Neeson?
yes, whatever his
Nelson.
name is. Nelson. I don't know. He's a fucking racist, but anyway.
But the movie still banged though.
I
mean, I
anyway,
go front. Movie's
you know,
banging.
going into the whole thing about, you know, him, you know, his friend got sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And him saying, "Hey, I'm just gonna go and find out the next black." Well, she told him that, "Hey, it was a African American guy that did this," and he said, "You know what? I'm looking for blood for the next black person that crosses me in the wrong way, and I'm gonna attack him." Like, that is full blown, like, you know, like, that's wrong. You don't do that.
I mean, yeah,
and there's
definitely
a
wrong.
stench on him, to me, and maybe to other people, that no matter how much you say, "Oh, that was in the past, I'm not like that, I'm not, you know, this and that," I'm still going to have that stigma that you might still be racist. You might still have that with you.
Oh, yeah.
So her saying that statement, you know what I mean, is like, "Oh, you know, well, it's not for you. It's not this." My views towards her is, you're like that. Like, you're a feminist to a degree where you're like, "No, I don't want straight white males critiquing my shit." And no matter how much you backtrack and stuff, to me, that stench is still on you. Like, you have that ideology.
Hold up.
I don't think it's fair though.
So that's not fair. And the reason I'm gonna say it's not fair because these are two totally different things. And the reason I say they're two totally different things is the simple fact of Liam Nielsen fucked himself. There's a difference. When you come out as a statement and say some dumb shit like that.
No. I'm not comparing the two. You can't say that. I'm just saying, in the same ideology of, this person said something and it holds weight. Yeah. I'm saying that, like, her saying that is still, to me, it still holds weight. Like, that means that you don't want certain people to critique your thing, and you also feel as though that, hey, this movie isn't for you. You shouldn't be, you know, watching it. You know, I only want minorities to do it. And to me, personally, I feel like you're trying to take on the plight of minorities. And you're just saying, like, "Hey, you know, I understand, like, this isn't for these people, but when you're saying it's not for these people, who else? Who is it for?
That's
It's for women and minorities.
So, all right. This is something me and my brother were talking about today, and this is the problem. There's too many fucking groups. There's too many fucking groups, and there's too many people trying to use how other groups got the attention of whatever it is. You get what I'm saying?
And that's
how
my
do we
point.
move?
And
Yeah,
that's my point.
I feel your point. I feel your point 110%. But I will say this. We're gonna talk about this, and we're gonna go back to her statement. Her statement was clearly the problem here. Okay? If you said to me, there are things that have happened to you. We're not going to bring up anybody's personal shit here. So let's just know that we're not going there. But there's things that happened to you, and you've said things and have later on grown up from whatever your statement was and have changed. If I hold on to this, let's say I'm of a different race, okay? Let's say I'm of a different race. Let's say I'm a white male or whomever.
So now you're trying to say that I said something
No,
really derogatory.
no.
Everybody
I'm
says
talking about
something in the
general.
past.
No,
Here,
I'm just saying.
I
No,
would-
I'm just saying
it's
in
true.
general. I'm just
No,
saying
no,
something
yeah.
in general. If I was to say there is, let's say, like you've grown up, you've elevated as an individual, and I state that, oh well, I don't care what he said. Okay,
He still said
there's
this.
still a stench of I don't know if he'll ever do this. He's an angry black man. What if he wants to hurt me or whatever the case, whatever's running through that person's head?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's not fair to you as an individual.
Okay. All right. Well,
You know what I'm saying?
and
you're
no,
entitled to your opinion.
and I agree with this, but this is how I'm going to break this down. This thing that she said was recent.
Yes,
It's
it was
not like
recent.
Liam Neeson or
His
Liam
was still in
Neeson.
it.
His was,
Way
that
back
happened
then.
a long time ago. This is how she currently feels about the situation.
No, it was recent, but she also said she stepped back and was like, hold up. Maybe I was wrong for approaching it that way. That's the problem with today. I'm serious.
I'm
Like,
gonna say, you
it's like I can say something blatantly right now in this what we're talking right now, right?
Mhm.
And by episode 2, come back to clarify what I said in the last episode, in
Yeah.
the next episode, and somebody can sit here from there on and be like, nah, yo, this is too recent. You ain't grow from that. And it's like, no, I could have literally said something out of emotion, like a lot of us.
Did
do.
anybody ever actually hear how she said it? Because I know sometimes it's the tone of how you say it compared
It can
to
be
what's
written,
been said.
it can be-
because
yeah.
I mean, let's be real here. Everything's texted and written out and stuff like that. And I mean, if
Mhm.
I can say something a certain way and it comes off a different energy than just typing it when you got to interpret what I just said. Now, by all
Exactly.
means, I'm not sitting there trying to validate
there's been-
where
yeah,
her statement
no,
was,
yeah,
but I'm
I'm
saying,
not-
has anybody
there's
Like I
been
said,
millions.
I'm just playing. Like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate in the way that, hey, she said what she said, and yet, people can grow, people can, whatever.
She
but
might have realized it was stupid after she said it. She was
well,
probably
not,
just
well, not
defending
only that,
herself.
not just
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
but her
it's hard.
team probably said, "What the fuck did you just do?"
Yeah, but even
know?
but the thing is, I don't want to place that on it because I want to give her the benefit of the doubt that she came to it. Like I'm not saying her team didn't say something,
Yeah.
but like as y'all being my friends, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Because you have to pick your team as an actor. You have to pick your team. So like I could be talking about a film, right, that I've worked on, and we don't know how many conferences she did today. We don't know how many people she's ran into because right now she's running the movie. This is the most important time for an actor right now, who especially when you're a lead. For the next week to 2 weeks, she has to run around and promote this film, and that's all she knows. All she knows is to promote. All she knows is to promote. This is PR, right? And then she's got attacked in some areas. Some areas she got loved. The areas she got attacked, and she could have woke up that day and had a bad day, and a motherfucker could have said something. And she could have just got defensive and said it wrong. You know what I'm saying? And then you sit back and then you go, whoo. All right, didn't get enough rest that day. All right, guys, I need to go back out and say something about this. Look, I was wrong for that. Or, hey, I had came about this wrong. Or however she decided she wanted to go about her apology, however she wanted to change up how she said it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it was noticed. She didn't go blindly and continue her life and was like, no, I fucking meant it.
Like
it was
some other person we know.
There's people out
Or
there
heard of.
who have done things like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I'm not going to put that stench on her. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, yo, I see how you feel about white. First off, she's white. Let's just be real here. She's white. It's one thing if it was
but
like,
she's a woman, and because of that, there's and I hate to be the bearer of bad news when it comes to hierarchy, but white man is number one.
Yep.
White woman's number two.
if she-
and
but if
especially
she-
then after that,
that's
then
why I take offense to her saying like, "Hey,
But-
I want minorities and I want this," because then I feel
But
like
if
you are
she's-
taking the plight of minorities to kind of sort of elevate your own thing.
Yeah.
And this goes back to my earlier point
But what
of
if she was an ally 110%, right? What if she
There's-
was an ally?
okay,
But what if
okay.
she was an ally 110%, and then we're discrediting her because like, oh, she said she wanted minorities there? Like, what if she's like an ally? Like, I'm talking like an ally like of us, like of black people. Like,
okay, listen, there most likely, right? You could be an ally, you could, whatever, but it's a lot of it's a lot of that, you being an ally, you being like right there close to the situation, but you're not in the situation. And there's a difference between like, hey, like I'm this and I want this to be that, and actually doing it to kind of sort of elevate your own situation versus, just really being about it. Like if she, like, I mean, I don't know her personally, but if she's always talking out about like, oh, like, these people, are doing this, or hey, I'm donating to this, or I'm doing that, or I'm really like an ally, that's different. But she's on a press run
for a movie.
So she's trying to do whatever she can to make sure.
But that's what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm getting at. So I'm like, okay, I understand, but I'm going to take everything you say with a grain of salt, because you could have been saying this on your platform while you were shooting, while you were filming. You had multiple chances.
Might not be allowed to, though.
You had multiple chances, but you wait until you're on a press run, and then when someone says something that you don't like, then you're like, well, it's not for you, it's for minorities, and yeah, these are the people that I want this movie to feel. You could have been saying this the entire time. So one thing I will say is,
She might
with
not have been allowed to, though.
Michael B. Jordan and Chadwick Boseman, all throughout, even when they were filming this, and even beforehand, they said, hey, we want African Americans to see this. We want them to see the products of our labor. We want them to see this.
They said, well, they also said everyone, and you know why they said everyone. And the reason they said everyone is because everybody doesn't view black films as, they don't view it as an everyone film. Everybody views black films as black film. Like, that's all it gets. That's why.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they said, hey, we want, African Americans to see this. We want it to actually, hit them, like close. Like, we want them to actually be able to relate to this. And they didn't say that just on the PR, like they said it then, but then you would hear it in other things. Like Michael B. Jordan would be talking about another movie, and he'll be like, yeah, like with Black Panther, this. It's all throughout them.
Yeah, so essentially what you're saying is the promotion of Black Panther was throughout the entire process, shooting.
Yeah, they were saying this thing even before Black Panther came out, even when he was working on Civil War. And
so your personal gripe, seeing both sides for this, it's your personal gripe. I mean, because we gotta start, getting on some stuff, and we're gonna be on this. Just shit will be forever. But for what I'm getting is that. You feel that way. You feel the way that you feel is because, as you said, Black Panther, they promoted it from the start to the end.
Yes.
Filming included.
Exactly. Yep.
Whereas Brie was, hey, I'm mad because you reviewed my shit and it's not for y'all. It's for minorities and women. But she didn't do that from the floodgate. She did that because she was attacked.
Yes, exactly. And not just that, it's building upon like, okay, like, this is how I really feel. I want these people to kind of come and see this film. Like, I want this to be, not for white critics. And
so
you know what?
You think that she's trying to slight minorities?
No, I'm trying to say that
she's trying
that.
But that's slighting. That's slighting.
Yeah.
So
But I wasn't finishing. Okay. Like, I believe in that, but then I also believe that if you felt this way and you were all about, like women empowerment and stuff, come out from the gate and say that. Like, get these people on your side before you're doing a press run. Multiple people, multiple actors. A lot of times they'll be like, hey, I made this for women. I want women to do this. Even before they reach that.
Well, that's what. All right. So that's what I was just saying before. You have to understand. I don't know if you know the process, but let me tell you the process that I know. Okay. You are not allowed. You are bound by contracts.
Sure, you sign an NDA.
Yeah. In some ways, in some aspects, even as the main actor. Okay, in a situation like Black Panther, we knew Black Panther was in the works based off of what Marvel allowed us to know already. So they were allowed to do different things a little bit more than other aspects. Captain Marvel, because of the way that it falls into the sequence of what's going on and stuff like that, has been. Even though we knew that that there was casting, even though we knew that they were trying to do stuff, you're not allowed to talk about it. You're not,
that's with a lot of movies, but
Yeah,
that
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
that
But
doesn't need.
but you can't make the comparison of what they did for Black Panther versus this on the
Yes,
simple
you
fact.
can. In the fact of
How?
not even getting into just by her being the lead actress in that movie, we knew that movie was coming.
Yeah, we knew the movie was coming, but it's not like when we found out like 100% like okay when it's coming, stuff like that. There was areas like I don't think she was allowed to really talk about it.
You don't even have to talk about it. We know that you are the lead in this film. You could just say, "Hey, I'm the lead actress in this film, and I made this film because I want women to be empowered, and I want minorities to come see my film." Period. You don't have to get into the
Also, for some more context about like Brie Larson's like career history, one notable quote from back when she did A Wrinkle in Time was, she said, quote, "I don't need a 70-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time." So, like, she has this history of, like, sort of being, like, a man-hater. So, of course, that's gonna be attached to, like, the marketing. Because, like,
So
yeah.
so because she feels a way about white males, because clearly that's who she has gripe with, who she has.
Well, we know she had great with men. That's for sure. but I mean, if you take it together, then
she's
yeah,
constantly
it's
said white.
So now, do you understand what I'm getting at? Is now that she's on this PR firm, she has a thing against white people. What Ming just said, right? Going back to my point, don't you think that she added in that minority thing to get a bump?
yeah, because she's trying to. I see what you're talking about.
Now you
Gotcha.
understand what I'm.
Mm.
Now it's coming into full circle.
So we think that she like all right. So she only want. The thing is, it seems consistent to me. The whole thing, whether it's during the PR run, whether this is that's her everyday life. Apparently, there's something with that, and I'm not talking because she was trying to get the Wrinkle of Time a bump. I don't think she was getting the Wrinkle of Time a bump. Like it didn't matter what Brie Larson said because Oprah was in it.
I feel like you're missing my point.
No, I hear your point, Trey. That's what I want you to understand. I get it. I hear you, and I'm just not going. Like, yeah, like she's trying to fucking slight us. I don't think she's trying to slight us. I really just think that's who she is at this point. Like, if that goes all the way back to A Wrinkle in Time,
She just can't handle criticism.
she can't handle criticism.
That's
That's what
the
I'm
main
saying.
thing.
I'm seeing
Can't
a
handle
person who
criticism.
can't handle criticism, and I'm seeing a person who, in their everyday life, like this isn't just movies. Like I don't think this is a PR move. That's clearly a problem. Like she has a problem with them.
What? I'm sorry. I'm just gonna end it on this. But yes, she has a problem with white males. We could tell just by that she, for her, that's more of a left-leaning view, right? And what I'm saying is that, okay, sure, she feels this way, and we're like, okay, this is her. But for her to add in, like, she
I
could have
wanna
just
see
ended it.
minorities.
She could have ended
I
it
want
on,
minorities to see it.
I don't want just you white. We would have caught the picture. We understand that's something that you do. But when your PR, move and you're actually doing it, don't bring minorities into it. Do not say, hey, if we knew, like, if Ming would have brought that up and she had a history of talking about, I want minorities to see A Wrinkle in Time, I want minorities to come do this, I'm at these things, I'm helping out minorities, then I would be like, you know what, you're right.
So
This is who she is.
So because she said it this one time, and it feels like it's not genuine, it's not all right. So we should, and her coming back and even if she takes that back, are we going to completely?
But note what she's taking back. She's not taking back that other statement. She's taking back the white man statement.
Because she's serious about the minorities this year. But I get it. She shouldn't do it. She shouldn't do it because she's white. Right?
That's not the point.
Bottom line, this is fucking Hollywood. They're all snakes. So, like, who gives? You vote with your wallet. I'm not going to watch freaking Captain Marvel mostly because of my first point in that, like, who the hell is this jackass swooping in and getting the final kill? Like, you're playing, like, I don't know if you guys ever played League of Legends back in the day, but then freaking random pub kill stealing you, that was my goal. What's wrong with you?
No, I've never played. I ain't never played anything like that. But no, like it. Let's just call it what it is with that. Like, again, we're not over here trying to change. Everyone's opinion. Everyone has an opinion. I see where you're coming from, Trey.
Yeah.
And I do agree, and I also agree with Chavez though that people can change. So, or in this case, I could just see both sides. Let's go with that. I can see both areas of the field.
That's
People can
That's
change.
called-
She has a history.
Yeah, people can change.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
on
true.
paper,
You're
people
right.
can
That's
change.
true.
So I will say that, from my perspective, man. If I go see Captain Marvel, is not because of her as a lead actor, it's not because the movie's great, it's only because it might be containing some material that fucking goes to Endgame. That's the only fucking reason. That's
pretty
the only
Pretty
reason.
much for everybody.
Yeah, that's everybody.
Yeah.
Well, other than that,
Most
man,
people.
Yeah.
man, please change topic because these niggas gonna choke each
Oh
other
yeah,
out.
I guess like, and end things on a much lighter note. Pokemon Sword and
I was
Shield.
about to say Sun and Moon.
I know.
Sun and Moon
holy
2.
crap.
XLO.
No.
Ew.
Sword and Shield got announced, and we got a peek at the region and the starters. Mostly, I just want to talk about the starters because, like, that's how every Pokemon fan chooses their faction. So, which one of the starters did you guys like? For me, I'm
Yeah, how you
torn.
gonna ask us a question and then answer it?
What?
No, go ahead. Well, so what do you guys think? I think. Hold up.
Yeah,
Hold up.
I mean, to give you guys some time to think about,
I'm fucking
your
with you, man.
decision.
You're good.
Anyway, so for me, I'm torn between Score Bunny and Grookey. Because you have a fire rabbit. He's looks so cool and stuff. He's kind of he's like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna nickname him for you meme lovers out there, Big Chungus.
Chungus.
Exactly. But Grookey can look really cool too. I really dig both those designs. At first I was kind of but then once I really absorbed the character designs for those Pokemon, is yo, this is pretty good.
So I get some vibes from certain the three starters. Obviously, because there's starters of every fucking Pokemon game. But from Fire Bunny, just looks like. No, obviously, because I don't know what all the
He
names
looks like Big
It's
Chungus, right?
Score Bunny.
Not-
It's funny you said Fire Buddy. But
Fire
it's
Bunny
Score
bitch. I don't know.
Score Bunny, yeah.
So all I think of is what was that bunny Pokemon that evolves to some furry that niggas be.
Baniri.
Yeah, just that with fire.
Interloper.
That's all I see is that with fire. So I'm okay, that's kind of cool. The water one just looks like the water otter, I seen in the fucking previous ones. I don't remember Pokemon too much. Oshawott, yeah. And Grookey was it? Because that's the one I'm
Grookey.
picking. That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the
Grookey
one I
looks
wanna
like
go
he's
with.
got that.
Grookey.
I don't know.
Only reason why I like Grookey is only because he reminds me of Infuriate or
Infernape, yeah.
Infernape. But obviously he's grass. That's the only fucking reason I just see that more of an appeal of, I don't know what their final evolutions are, but I feel more appealed and like more his design compared to the other two. If it's a
I like the
hierarchy.
simplicity. I like the simplicity of the designs. They give me the feel. It's like a mixture of Gen 1 and 3. It's this weird. It's simplistic, but it's got a pop to it.
Yeah.
I liked Grookey's the grass one, right?
Yeah.
Grookey, I watched an entire trailer breakdown. I had noticed some things. I wanted to see if I wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that he healed shit. I thought that was dope. He there was he the grass died or whatever. He healed it.
But don't grass always
with
heal?
No.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. Mm-mm.
What grass person didn't heal?
What's his name? From what is that big ass turtle thing?
Oh, it's Terraria, some shit like that?
Yeah, I don't think he did.
Turtwig.
Turtwig's final form.
Turtwig's
I
final
could have sworn Terra, some shit like that. I don't know.
And,
You know what it is.
that one grass
look that up
type.
now, 'cause I'm upset now.
I can't remember.
And he ain't learn no healing moves? I could have sworn I never picked them, but I'm assuming
That's
almost
a good
grass
question,
types
'cause now I
has healing
think,
moves.
a lot
you
of
got Venusaur, you got Leech Seed, you got
Meganium
could-
Gravile could do it too.
Photosynthesis.
Well, at some point they what you were talking about, it was in terms of the depiction of Grookey is that he is sort of doing something for the environment in a way.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's being misunderstood is a bunch of grass Pokemon do learn Absorb and Mega Drain and shit like that.
but
But
I mean, that's a part of
we're talking about sort of how the Pokemon
the aesthetic of the Pokemon.
they do something with the ecosystem.
Yeah,
or
look,
whatever.
Absorb, Mega Drain, motherfucking Giga Drain.
Yeah, but
That's
he's
he
more
means
talking about
it's helping the environment.
Yeah.
He's
So,
but, very
But that wasn't the actual gameplay. That was just a film, a little thing to put together. Yeah, as you say, not actually gameplay. On top.
But I think
Yeah.
it means from the core aesthetic of the Pokemon, like just like Score Bunny, he's running in. We know that he's going to be a fast guy. Like he's going to
fast, and they
just
show
like
that
with,
he has a fire thing. Like when they showed him, they just showed his footsteps. They just showed his footsteps.
Mhm.
Like they showed where he was at in the grass.
Yeah.
And it was burnt. And then the other guy,
That
Sabo,
nigga came out of fucking
well, that's the
fountain.
thing. Sabo, he just appeared. So you're like,
He was
oh,
invisible
he might
and
be
he popped
a
up.
chameleon.
Yeah.
he's a chameleon. He was afraid. Did you peep like his design? Like that's what a lot of people.
No, I
do.
did not watch a breakdown
Yeah,
of
like a lot
100%
of
of
people.
it.
a lot
I
of
just
people are
watched the
looking at
trailer
it,
that was
he
just
has,
say
like,
watch
his
the trailer.
hands a certain way, and
It's like chameleon hands.
like
So like a
chameleon
chameleon, like you know how they grip onto things is like they kind of sort of look weird.
yeah, it's got like that. It's like
So-
it's like one big finger
So-
and then a thumb. Like
That's this.
it's like and he popped up and he was just like and he has like this nervous
it's anxiety.
and he squirts water. He's like, oh fuck this, I can't deal
He's so
with this. It's too
sad.
much.
That's why he's called Sobble. 'Cause he sobs.
The thing about
Get
that,
it?
I mean, it's hard to, on my own personal thing on that. It's hard to really watch breakdown film or videos constantly of Pokemon only because that's not their final form. We don't know what the fuck their final form is, and they could play on that, or they could go completely fucking south and go
Oh
somewhere
yeah,
else
they've
with
done
it.
that.
So
before.
it's like,
yeah.
like it's something where it's like, yeah, you got this chameleons, and you know this person. I'm like, all right, well, all we can really go based off is what their type is, and you know, essentially what we kind of saw in the trailer. We know grass type. They healed from fucking Gen 1 up till now.
Yeah.
Fire niggas always burn shit. That's like water niggas squirt shit. I don't know. So
what a very general sense of
Exactly,
describing
like-
Pokemon.
So I have a theory that everybody who's really liking Grookey was really sad when Harambe died.
How the fuck did you correlate that?
Where?
Grookey is obviously going to be a gorilla.
Like,
All right, have you took anthropology class? Because I'm gonna tell you why the molars don't agree. What?
Yo, you know what's gonna be funny?
He's going to
What if-
evolve
I
that.
can
That
see a
tail is going to
chimpanzee.
go in.
I can give you the
That
right
tail
thing,
is
but a
going to go
gorilla?
in.
Yo, what if
Yo, yo,
what if Grookey does?
Think about it though.
If Grookey
Like,
becomes orangutan, I'm gonna laugh at you. 'Cause it's
I-
gonna be funny.
I want a
Oh,
Rafiki
shit.
from Lion King.
what's
Oh
going to be
my
funny is
God.
if it actually happens, and then I'm going to be
I
like,
don't
No, are you making that statement? I will write that shit down. Are you making that statement?
what? I'm just saying it'd be funny.
No, are you making that statement?
Yo, if he's
go
a
ahead,
gorilla,
go ahead.
you know why I don't think he's gonna be a gorilla? Because that stick is a very important thing to his evolution. If he's a gorilla with a big ass stick, I don't think it's going to end well,
I
bro.
think he's gonna be it could
A
be
panda.
a baboon.
He's gonna turn into a panda or some shit.
No.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That would be
That'd be
crazy.
completely off guard, but hey, you know,
I
it's
do
Pokemon
think
round.
so.
I seen a
let's-
nigga who was a fucking bug with a big jaw turn into a fucking dragon. So you know what? Anything's possible. He's a
Yeah.
panda.
Oh,
Mark it down.
Trapinch?
Yeah, he's a fucking panda. Mark it down. He gonna call the blue light. What up, bitches?
Oh my god.
You
I
know
want
what's gonna
some
be
weed.
dope though? I'm looking. Well, I don't think I told anybody who I was gonna pick.
No, you didn't. You did not.
The person I'm aiming for, and it was funny because me and Trey were messaging each other.
I
As
did
sick
see
as
that,
I was, as sick as I was responding to him.
It's
and
like
I
Pokemon.
was like, Pokemon at 9 o'clock. and Trey was like,
Fucking on his deathbed.
Trey was like, good shit. And I was like shaking.
Holy shit. My nigga.
So, I haven't been excited about a fire type in a long time, and it happened today. Well, not today, but the day.
Was it
was
Fire
aired.
Rapier, bro? The last boy you picked?
No,
No. Who was your last fire type?
my last fire type was Charizard.
Damn.
Hopefully
It's
in fucking.
Typhlosion.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
time to go back, man.
Yeah, I'm going back. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Typhlosion will always be my favorite.
Because
fire
I
type.
did
don't care what I say.
after that it was Mudkip. I did Piplup like a dumbass, and
What?
I did.
Piplup was amazing.
Not in that starter.
Not that starter.
Yeah.
I liked Piplup because I thought it was cool. I'm like, I like penguins. I just seen Happy Feet, and then that happened. I got Imperior, and I was inferior.
I mean, I like
to
the
everybody
design,
else.
but he was just not efficient.
He wasn't.
If I can get killed by a ground type and I'm water, I don't like that. Like I didn't fuck
Yeah.
with that too much.
Yeah,
Like I'm supposed to have the advantage, not you. Like,
I could go into a whole bag of worms with competitive Pokemon and shit, but I'm not gonna open that today.
Well, I wasn't a competitive player.
Chavez did it all. That
Yo,
nigga competitive
Yo, the
player,
way
a
that Big is looking
mechanic,
at Chavez.
writer,
I
actor.
wasn't.
He was motherfucking cooking your food that morning, so he was a professional cook. He fucking drove. That nigga did it all.
There's one thing I've never been is a competitive Pokemon player. I've only been competitive amongst my friends.
Okay.
So I will never act like I'm the shit on Pokemon. You don't have to worry. I'll only put attacks on my Pokemon. I don't put any.
I get it.
Wasn't that the same? Wasn't that the same like Gen with Inferno?
Yeah.
Then fucking Torterra, what the fucking name was? Torterra was the fucking the bee's knees.
He was.
Bitch you could take out both of the starters by himself. It's bullshit.
Yeah,
he was the ultimate tier.
Grass types were important.
Okay, yeah, I guess I am opening this bag of worms.
You gotta open up the bag of worms because I need to know.
So like, the typing advantage that Water Steel has defensively is like one of the best typing combinations. Like, although yes, it is weak to ground in terms of the grand spectrum of how much like defensive coverage it has, it's just amazing. It's just like strictly better than like freaking any of those.
If I remember correctly, can I? I'm asking.
Yeah, because we gotta get the trades after this though.
I'm asking for because he opened these worms. During that time, because we knew a professional player, we knew two of them.
Yeah.
Wasn't the grass type the third form of
he
was in that
grass and ground.
That dude with the X on his face. What the fuck
Metagross?
is that? Metagross was tier, and there is another one, but I remember Imperior was not in any of the main teams. Like,
I mean, it does take a while for people to kind of grasp the idea of what movesets they need to make that Pokemon top tier.
Yeah, but like I'm talking like we had got to the third game by this point, like the third game of that generation. Like we were in Platinum.
Yeah,
by that
but
point.
and in that, just speaking as I use both Infernape and what was it, Emperor over this? What was the name again?
Empoleon.
I use both of those. I actually started off with Piplup and actually went and did it again with Infernape.
I did too.
And I see what you mean, but I know there's like hidden intricacies within Pokemon. So I know from time to time it'd be like, yo, this person is like water and steel, so the defense is high. But then all of a sudden you get hit with that super effective move and that shit don't matter. Like, so it so happens that super effective move is either electric or some shit or fucking.
I will concede that in terms of like actual competitive usage, Infernape is actually like the best.
Infernape?
Yeah, Infernape is actually the best.
Yeah, because
I wouldn't be surprised, but that Torterra shit, when done right, was fucking brutal.
Were they using sword?
Oh, that is true because he has
and he has that fast punch attack.
He could beat Empoleon by fighting. And then
it was something.
The other dude is just
other and fucking Torterra can hit you with an earthquake. Take it from me, I got hit with an earthquake and saw what the fuck happened.
Yeah, it's a one shot.
I was like, I ain't gonna say one shot, but that shit was like, you ever sit there and you be like praying that the shit stops and it just does, but like it doesn't matter. You're like, come on, why is it still going? You know what? Oh, I'm not dead. Well, you might fucking kill me anyway. Like,
you're not
can't do shit. I can't come back from this.
Yeah.
Getting back on track, Trey, what's your starter for?
Trey,
I'm picking Sobble. I mean,
he likes to be his own trendsetter.
Well, I mean,
that's what exactly.
That's exactly what Sobble fits him.
I mean, I just
Sobble definitely fits him.
Chameleon nigga that got motherfucking weird thumb hands.
Trey's
that's nothing like Trey. If anything, the fucking fire bunnies that nigga or the grass niggas. He's strictly doing this because we are gonna pick the two people that nigga really want to pick. And you like, or you might go if it's what was your last starter you picked? Was it a fire type?
Yeah.
That's why. Because he has a pattern where he don't even choose.
I don't
he
pick
just
the
chooses
same
based
that
off. I chose fire last time. I choose water.
I
choose
do
water.
that.
I chose water last time. I choose grass.
The last few times, and I'm gonna be honest with you, as I've gotten older, I like grass more. I don't know. But
I know why.
I am going. Fuck you. No, I'm going with it was funny because he said Sobble, and I looked at Sobble, and I was like, normally I'm really attracted to the water type, but we really switched roles here. Because in Pokemon games, what happened? What happened in fucking and Let's Go? We literally, I was like, oh bitch, I'm going, oh Pikachu! Like I was like, all right, cool, like that's your life. You know what I'm saying? But in this particular situation, we really switched on starters because Scorbunny is somebody you would definitely see with Trey, and Sobble somebody he's low key as fuck. But in reality is, I'm a Scorbunny ass nigga. Look at my personality.
I like the monkey.
Trey.
I like the monkey
Trey
nigga.
stays to
Yeah.
himself,
Yeah,
and he
after
pops
something
up when
about
he needs
him,
to.
you know?
He pops up
I
when
know.
he needs to.
Like that.
See, Ming
Yeah.
understands. See, that's the thing. I fucks with you, yo. We watch the same anime. We grew the same Pokemon. Ming's that nigga, man.
Until Ming doesn't respond to you on the group chat.
Ming does that all the time. Ming doesn't respond.
I'm
Listen,
trash.
Ming doesn't
I am.
respond to
Why you gotta-
DMs. He doesn't respond to PlayStation invites.
Don't slide in his DMs at
You
all.
can't-
I
you can't
almost
do
hit
it.
him up on PlayStation. I was like,
Don't hit him
I'm
up on
not
PlayStation.
even-
He'll
I'm
never
not
do it.
even-
He-
I'm not
he
even-
Yeah.
It's funny because I actually hit Ming up yesterday on PlayStation. And he was like, and
will
blocked.
admit,
I was like,
I
damn.
would have ignored you.
I
Yeah,
thought about it.
see.
I thought about it. I was like, oh, we're both playing Nier, and I kind of want to talk to somebody about it because I don't get to talk to anybody about games I like. And then I was like, Ming going normal. I was like,
Damn.
I got this feeling because I know I do it to Chris when he's trying to play a game, and I'm not playing that game, and I feel bad because I want to hit him up, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hit him up, and then when I finally do hit him up, he won't respond to me, and I'm like, this is going to be a game I'm not going to play with all my friends. So I'm just going to accept the fact that we're all doing different things. I totally
Oh my
understand.
god! All right, so ending an episode with freaking calling me out on my private life.
About how a piece of shit he is.
Yeah, I know, right? All
Piece
right.
of shit.
You have a good night, folks. R&R signing out.